Okay. Good evening. This is the Roosevelt TIF Board and Economic Development, and it is June 26th, 2025, and the meeting will now come to order. We will start by reading off the minutes of the last meeting, and we'll start down through there. The meeting was opened by myself, and it was noted that the meeting would again be testing the equipment that you're seeing us broadcast on here tonight, and we'll be going live here next month.
No, this month, right now.
Oh, this month, right now, it says July.
Oh,
okay,
I'm sorry.
So we're gonna have to change that to June.
Yeah, we changed it to June.
Okay. And there was no discussion regarding the April minutes that were sent out to everybody, and so we declared them approved as written. Finance, at the last meeting, the balance was $331,852.78 with no activity so far this year. Mark has contacted Clifford Signs regarding the strap damage to the Welcome to Roosevelt signs. Clifford is awaiting for some good weather to come and touch up the paint. Kevin brought up the proposal from ProTurf for dyed concrete curbing with Riverstone filling around the welcome sign, and the quote was $3,347.95. This would also include solar lighting sticks. It was moved by Ned and seconded by Myrna to have ProTurf do the work, and approved 4-0. Rick reported that the town has been informed by NDOT that since the new welcome signs are reflective, the old green town signs can be removed. Rick advised the board about a meeting with the Western School Superintendent about proposed school signs. They will be discussing this internally regarding the policy on what groups are on the sign, and Mark requested that this be tabled for now. Mark has contacted the owner of the property where one of the proposed school signs may be placed, and he was open to conversation, but he wasn't very, this needs to be corrected, because he was open to talk about it, but he was very reluctant to allow it to happen. Okay. Ned brought up the church signs, which are showing much wear, and he was advised to approach the town council. In review of the April meeting, Mark initiated a discussion on how to get more input from the community, and he volunteered to contact Jennifer Calvin regarding social media surveys. The TIF allocation area and economic development areas changes, nothing new to report. South Union crossover project, nothing new to report. Community park picnic shelter, a new cost estimate for the shelter has come in at $62,000. Mark noted that it was expected to be in that range, and it was. That's why we set aside $65,000 for that project. There was a short general discussion of taxing policies and changes working through the state legislator, forget it. Moved by Rick and seconded by Ned to adjourn, passed unanimously. Meeting was over at 18:45. Next meeting will be today at 1800. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes of the meeting outside of June and the reluctance of the property owner to allow us to put that sign on?
Nope.
Any additions? Any other additions or corrections? Then I'll take a motion that we accept them as read.
I make a motion we make them as read.
And I'll second.
With the modifications? Okay, and second by Myrna. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye. So
carried. Tonight's meeting, excuse me now. The town signage, I have been in contact with Amy, and I passed that on to you folks. they said they were gonna get out here and repair the signs. I don't think they have made it out here yet, cause I can still see the scuff marks. And is that true?
The last I was out there, they were still there.
Okay. So they have not made, and so until we get the signs repaired, we're not going to pay them until that's completed. On the town signage, Kevin reported that the boundary installation, on the boundary installation from Pro Tour. Do you have an update for us on that?
It is completely all done, and he has submitted a bill which is gonna be paid here in just a few weeks, I believe. And yeah, if you got any needs, call Gavin. He's a local company, does a great job, not only with landscaping, with any kind of yard needs. He's great to work with, so.
That's good. And it is completed, and they've got
Yes.
8 lights on each sign, so 4 on each side, and they're solar lights. I haven't seen it at night yet, but it does, that river rock really looks
looks
good,
nice.
and the way they stained that, it matches the brick on the sign. So they did a great job. It looks really professional, looks really good. Rick will send the information from Western Schools regarding the state championship signage to Mark. He did. I did look at that. That sign's gonna be full by the time we get down through there. Cause you know, there's a lot of other organizations that have also state championships. And
You're
so,
talking about that sign right there.
yes, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm sure you've seen those.
Yeah.
There's a couple more to even go on to that.
Yeah, I'm
So, really, I think this looks a lot cleaner, looks a lot nicer, and,
Oh, I just, I'll hold it up for the camera in case somebody doesn't know what we're talking about.
yeah, up there. But the,
'Cause they may
the-
not know.
yeah, you're right.
They can zoom in.
The one thing we talked about though is pulling the sign from up here on North 750 and using it out here on 26. So we really probably need to try to talk to some of the other landowners out that way to see if maybe someone would be more receptive to allowing us put it out there. Because we'll put it right up next to where the state says we can go, but yet stay in compliance.
If there are more celebrations to put on there, would that change the design of the sign? Like, will it be bigger? Will the font be smaller? Do you know if that looks any different?
Well, there was a couple more to go on down below.
Okay.
Here's where you run into, you know, as it continues, this thing could be the size of a billboard,
Yeah.
really. And Rick does not have any cost yet
Okay.
on this. But it's just, you know, right now as it stands, you got 2 more to put on here. And, you know, like I said, it could really grow.
Yeah, we kind of tabled it last time and pushed it back to the Western.
Yeah.
Because it can only not only be the basketball, the band, then you got FFA, you've got,
All of
yeah, where do you limit?
Where-
We're letting them
Yeah.
make the decision.
And you
so.
hate to limit out one group over another because, you know, they all work hard to
Yeah.
get that acknowledgement. And so, you know, I think we're kind of waiting to hear back from the school too. Rick is waiting to hear from them. And so, as far as anything else on that, we really can't move any further until we know a little more from the school,
Yeah.
how they feel and what their
Yeah,
direction is
so
going
with
to
your
be.
contact there,
Yeah.
that might help us a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so we'll,
Reach out.
yeah, that'd be great because,
Because, you know, like, I'm sure you've seen this, but like all these all say state champ. Well, there's no reason to have every one of them say state champion when we can just
Yeah.
put it at the top.
Yeah.
And that brings up a lot more room, so.
yeah, it frees up quite a bit, but you gotta have it large enough to where people can read it too, you know, and, you know, if people see that and they think, wow, but then you leave out one group.
Yeah.
The other thing is, we had a real problem getting permission to put the signs. Will we have to ask permission to put those up on, by the road? Because if not, they're gonna be what, 75 foot back?
Pretty close. Well, in some areas 75, some areas 50.
Unless it's on
Yeah.
private property.
unless it's on the
Okay.
private property, you know,
That's
and,
the key.
you know, some people are, you know, some people are very receptive to it, but again, you know, this thing could really, really grow. The closer into town, the more narrow the state right-of-way
Right.
gets. And right out in that area, you've got the railroad, you got the railroad, you've also got the, which I don't know if they would really make a fuss, the railroad, because that railroad is cut off on both ends, you know, down at Michigan Town and up here at, West Middleton now. So you can't even you couldn't get anything down through there if you wanted. But they own such a wide swath of land through Roosevelt, it's amazing. So I think we'll just have to wait until we hear back from Rick, and the school. You know, he's been the main contact on that, and we'll see how that goes. TIF allocation, nothing new to report there. I understand Kevin, or not Kevin, the grant, the guy who's been working on that.
Dave.
Dave,
Kaiser.
he's been kind of buried.
He has.
Okay. Now, I wonder, is the wiping out of the Indiana Department of Economic Development by the governor, is that gonna really impact us any there, trying to get things through?
Possibly, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. The South Union crossover project, again, I haven't collected any more on that because I've been looking at the traffic signs, the solar panels that project what people's speed is. And we were hoping to have our town marshal here this evening, but he got called to a wreck out on 26, so he'll be out there for some time. The Community Park Center and Shelter Pavilion, new cost and planning has been sent to Indiana Department of Natural Resources and Dave Kiesler. If accepted, the next step is for Indiana Department of Natural Resources to submit it to the federal government. And so that'll be where that, hopefully that will continue to go through, because that money should already been allocated.
I think the deadline is the 1st of July to get it submitted to them, and then fall, I think they're supposed to say yes or no, which hopefully it's yes.
Yeah,
It's been a
I'd
long
like to
time.
hear that,
After all
yes,
this,
yeah. And see, here's one thing, we cannot commit to building that shelter out there because the fact that it would deduct from
Yes.
their grant. If we, even though we've already committed it, it counted as points
Yeah.
toward it. But if we go ahead and do it at what the cost of materials is today, you know, and to avoid it going, you know, if material cost and expenses rise, even if we build it, it would deduct from them. They'd be more hurt by it than if we, so we gotta wait on that. We can't do anything there. At this time, the only other thing I have is, again, I did invite Marshall Fulkerson to come in and to talk to us about these traffic signs, and he was very excited about it when I sent him the link to it and everything, and we spoke a couple times about it, and I told him we wanted to make sure that we get their input on this, and he thought it would really be a good deal because it really helped him be able to plan patrols and things like that where it needs to be and when, to help slow traffic down. I know they're up against it. You could be sitting at one end and going crazy on three other ends. So, they can't be everywhere at one time. So that's all we have here. That's all I have for tonight. Does anybody have anything new to bring to the council? Any comments or anything?
Thinking about the signs,
Yes.
is there an anticipated date by which those would go up, or does that have to, like, once it's approved here, does it have to go on for approval somewhere else?
No, once it, you're talking these here?
Mhm.
Yeah, we would
Speed
approve
sign.
that and it would just be, we would just go ahead and make the purchase. The town has thought about these, but they've never had the money to be able to do it.
Yeah, they're not portable like some of them you see as you go through town. They will be
Okay,
stationary.
that's what I was thinking,
Yes.
they're portable,
They're-
but they're
they're
stationary.
stationary.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
you-
we can move them anytime.
Yeah, we can
if
move
we
them.
want, but they won't be on wheels. They'll be on.
Yeah, it's fixed on the
Yeah.
post.
Okay.
So you put it on the post, it powers itself, you know, it's all solar powered, and if they wanna check people going out, they can do that, and they can undo it and move it across the road and put it up to check people coming in and collect data like that. So they can move it around however they want.
Okay.
And I think the real nice part of it is it gives them data collection. And he says he's got a real problem on South Union is their biggest problem, and up here on North Union is their second biggest problem, people coming into town. So it's a problem, but it would help them, give them the information they need to help do a better job there. So, did you want this? You want to take a look at this, or?
Is that a copy?
Oh, yeah, you can have that. It's from my email, where I've been talking to these people. I talked to two different companies, but this one here seemed to be more more for the cost. I hate the word cheaper, but their cost is lower, but they give you more, the solar driven, number one, and number two, I like the way that these things can collect the data and they can download it. Right to it doesn't take a special computer, it's just a software package, it comes with it. So when you buy the sign, you get the software.
I think that's great. There's a lot of speeders out there. So it would be nice to keep.
Well, I think it would help.
Yes, it
Even
is.
myself, driving a lot of times. I see one of those and I'm like, I don't realize how fast I'm going until it
Yeah.
kicks up. And I'm like, oh yeah, I better slow down. So
It's good
I think
to
it'd
know.
help.
Well, Myrna, did you have anything else or anything you want to talk?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay,
I make a motion, we close then.
we have a motion to close. Cindy, did you have anything you want to add, or?
No.
Okay.
no. Thank you for this information.
Just the tech girl tonight.
No, you're not. Okay, well, we got a motion to close.
Second.
Second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here with us tonight.